feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright. Echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? The show started without our camera being connected, so give me 1 second. I have to jump back out and jump back in. 1 minute. All right, we're back. Hey, good to see you guys. A terrible story out of Middle Tennessee today. You know, I know it's going to be a bad day when I wake up in the morning and all my alerts on my desktop are red, and it means something really bad has happened, and it means I have to start finding out what it is. And it was pretty quick to figure it out. This absolute giant explosion at a explosives manufacturing plant, and this is a photo we had from the thumbnail, just obliterated. There is nothing left at all, nothing. And they're looking for people in the, like, they're doing not really search and rescue, it's just trying to find the remains of people. That's the nicest way of putting it. The explosion was just so powerful. I don't think they're going to find anyone. There's no buildings left. There's just nothing there anymore. I mean, that's what explosives do, right? They level things. That's why they use them in military and stuff like that. But it's very, very sad for the people that work there. And coming out in the sort of wash today in the reporting is that this particular plant had OSHA violations, Tennessee OSHA, which is TOSHA, and they've been in trouble many times before, including people having seizures, literally having seizures from inhaling the chemical. So they like work with the chemical, and then they build the whatever they're building, and these people were absorbing it through their skin and inhaling it. And what happens after that is it affects their central nervous system, and they were collapsing at home, at work, having to be taken to hospital. It's really awful. Imagine that is your work. You have to go to work every day. You already know it's a very dangerous job. And on the other side of it, you also get poisoned at work through what you're touching and building, and it's really, really horrible. And it sounds like there are multiple people who have been killed, but also that they don't have any remains. They're saying here 18 people remain unaccounted for, and they're saying luckily one person who they thought was on site was actually at home at the time, so they've been accounted for, but 18 people just gone, not here anymore. I don't know if they'll find anything of them because the blast was so powerful. Yeah, this video was released. Is this the one I want to show you? Hold on. Nope, don't do that. Yeah, let me double check. Yeah, this is the right one. All right, I want to show you from WBIR the sort of latest news on it.
Breaking news out of Middle Tennessee after a deadly explosion at an explosives facility. Right now, the Associated Press is reporting that 19 people are missing and feared dead. 10 News reporter Ellis Rold is joining us now with the very latest on this investigation. Ellis?
Yeah, Brittany, just before 8 o'clock this morning, authorities confirmed a massive explosion at Accurate Energetic Systems in the Bucksnort area. Here's a look at the location to give you a better idea on this map. The factory sits on the Humphreys-Hickman county lines. That's about 60 miles from Nashville. According to the company's website, Accurate Energetic Systems opened in 1980 and processes ammunition and explosives. Shortly after today's explosion, videos started flooding social media, including this doorbell cam that caught a snippet of that explosion. That's the sound of the explosion from Cody Warren. He posted the video from his doorbell camera online. He's located in Loboville, about 20 miles away from that explosion. You can hear a...
What's interesting in that video, I was watching it, and if you listen very carefully, there's a smaller explosion and then a big explosion, the sort of large one that you hear. And it almost sounds like something caught, and then it was a chain reaction and sort of caught onto a larger stockpile or something. So you had the first one that went off, and then it ignited possibly the rest of the stockpile. So it sounds like they had some sort of accident, and it sort of chain reaction, and boom. Uh, yeah, really, really. I feel very sorry for the people that work there and their families. Everyone deserves to come home from work. Everyone deserves to make it home to their families, and for them to just go to work in the morning. And this happened like 8 a.m. in the morning, so they were just coming in for the day, getting going for the morning. So it was the beginning of the workday for everyone. I mean, it's very, very sad. Yeah, 20 miles away. That's how loud it was on the Ring doorbell. So you imagine if you were really close to it, near the ground zero, how loud that might have been. It would have been deafening, very deafening. All right.
Hearing from the Hickman County mayor. He says right now it's hard to determine just how many people have been impacted by the explosion.
Can you talk to us about the questions that are being asked, even if they're not being answered at this point in time? This is obviously a military explosives company.
So I thought I'd stop it there. You can see part of the scene. It's this particular area, then there's another area, sort of wait, it's this way for you guys. Sort of, if you keep going this way, there's another area that they that sort of exploded and got demolished. But you can see there's like, what is left here? Yeah, Tennessee, Middle Tennessee. What is left in this area where a building used to be? There's nothing. It looks like a tornado went through there. That's what it looks like. It looks like a EF4 tornado went through the area and just destroyed it. Well, 18 people are unaccounted for. That's what they're saying. 18 that they don't know where they are. They're supposed to be at work. They clocked in for the day, but they can't find them. I would say if you were this close to the blast, it's possible they may not find them at all. It depends. So they process and work with a specific chemical there, and I will show you a little bit about it if I can grab this link. So this is one of the chemicals. There's a couple that they use. One of the ones that they're known for is called cyclone. So that's its name, really. Hold on a second. Huh. Okay. So yeah, cyclonite RDX. That is the one that they, according to the reports, one of the ones that they use, and it's the one that was causing the nervous system problems with people that were inhaling it and having it go through the skin. Now, here it is. It's called RDX, and yeah, it's got a interesting name. Yeah, I don't know if I can pronounce all this, but it's they normally call it hexa. Yeah, I'll read it to you. It'll be easier. So they're saying it came from the UK originally, and it came from the Research Department Explosive. That was its name, RDX. And cyclonite is sort of one of the words they use for it, but it's got a scientific name as well. But it's super powerful. It's a lot more powerful than TNT. So if you know what TNT is, you know what that can do. this particular thing, RDX, is multiple times more powerful than it. Yeah, it's hexahydro 135 triazine, and that is the derivative that makes it. So they're saying it is obtained by treating hexamine with white fuming nitric acid. So that is sort of the chemical makeup of it here. How you make it. I don't know if we're allowed to show that on YouTube. We'll find out. Yeah, so it has a long history being used in Germany, World War II, the UK. Apparently, originally they combined it with aluminum powder, and they were actually using it to sink U-boats, so like submarines. They were trying to sink heavily fortified uh, ocean kind of military assets, trying to blow up the hulls, and they were using RDX for that because it was extremely powerful. And yeah, so this is one of the chemicals, not the only one. They use a few different ones at this particular um, facility, but you can now understand why there's nothing left in that photo. And they say here, when RDX is exploded in air, it has about a 1.5 times the explosive energy of TNT per unit weight and about 2 times per unit volume. So quite powerful stuff. Yes, dynamite. That's right. Yeah. So there's a little bit about the cyclonite, which is the chemical they got in trouble with in their OSHA report, saying that people were inhaling it, getting it on their skin, and they were having central nervous system problems and having seizures after dealing with it. And possibly this might be one of the chemicals that led to what you see right here. There is another, yeah. Watch the rest of this video. In the next 20 seconds, you're going to see the rest of the area and just see what is left.
It seems pretty evident that something exploded that was not supposed to. Is there any indication of what may have caused that? And tell us just about the questions being raised about that.
Well, there's a lot of questions about that. It is unknown at this time what caused this blast. It's going to be an investigation that's probably going to go on for days. This facility, they do manufacture not only military but demolition explosives. For road work and things like that as well. They're not just strictly military.
And Ellis, this is not the first time the state has seen an explosion of this magnitude.
So wait, before we get into that, people were asking earlier today, if you look in this photo, you can see all these like lime green or neon green little things all over the ground, right? And people are like, what are these? What are these? I'm not 100% sure, but they look like charge casings. And what is that? They pack these explosives into these casings, and you'll often see them. They'll thread them onto rope and tie them around buildings if you're doing a building demolition, and they'll string them together. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like a charge casing, but I can't be sure. But that they're normally lime green or neon green. I don't know if I'd be able to find one for you. If I can, I don't know if I can pick up a thing of it for you. But normally they're like circular, and they may have a hole in it too, and that's so you can thread them around a structure, like multiple of them. I'm just trying to see if I can lime green. See if I can show you an example of one. No, that's not it. Nope. Uh, I can't find one, but that's what I suspect it is because I've seen them before. I just can't find a photo of one intact to show you. Yeah, but normally they're like, yeah, lime green. It has a powdery substance in the middle, and then it'll normally have a hole inside, and it's so you can put rope through it, tie it to like the inside of a building, the structure, the pylons, something like that, and so you get a even blast from it. There you go. Yeah, I believe it's probably a chain reaction. You hear it in the video. You hear like a bang go off a small one first, and then you hear the really large one, and it's almost like something ignited, and then after its explosion happened and triggered, it then triggered the rest of it to go off. So it sounds like it may have been like a bang boom kind of explosion anyway. Snap Crackle Pop said that speaks volumes about the amount that exploded. I mean, a small amount of this could do this. Like you're talking about a kilo, probably most likely, maybe more than that. But you're not talking about like metric tons of, chemical. It could be as small as like, you know, a number of kilos. Like you're not talking. I don't think you'd be talking about, half a trailer worth or something like that. It wouldn't be. Didn't have to be a ton. Yeah, this was the munitions plant in Tennessee. Yeah, yeah. I'll play the rest of it for you. They talk about the OSHA violations up here.
And Ellis, this is not the first time the state has seen an explosion of this magnitude.
Yeah, Brittany, that's right. So we have video from an explosion at the Tennessee gas pipeline facility in Nonnally, right here behind me, which is located in Hickman County. It happened in August of 2023. Officials ordered a mandatory 1 mile evacuation, but no serious injuries were reported. Witnesses say that blast shook homes and sounded like a sonic boom. And in December of that same year, a powerful tornado in Nashville caused a fiery explosion when it hit a Nashville electric service substation in the Madison area. 6 people were killed, including children, and more than 60 people were injured. And Brittany, as for today's blast, we reached out to TOSHA, whose spokesperson says the agency has opened an investigation and will be on site once emergency officials clear the area. They say TOSHA records show the facility was inspected in 2019. Right now on WBIR.com, we have more details on that TOSHA report. We'll also have the latest information tonight on 10 News at 11. Brittany.
All right, Ellis, thank you so much for that update.
All right, I'm trying to see if we can go to the actual location and find out where it might be. I'm gonna have to find the road for it. Near the town of Buckstone, southwest of. Okay. Let me see if I can find the address so I can show you an overview of what it actually looks like. Is it probably I don't know if they will give us an address. I guess they don't like giving out places that are full of explosives. Okay, I do have a map actually. Directions? They have directions if you need it. Okay, let me look up this. I may be able to find it if I can just do this. Okay, maps. Okay, it's here. It's right here. This is a facility right here. So this is what used to be here. It does. In a couple of days, we will probably get an updated satellite photo of the area as the satellites pass over and they update the Google Maps system. But this is what it looked like, and you can see in the video we showed you. This is that open area. that you could see in the video where there's like nothing there. It's just rubble. Yeah, I'll see if I can go back to that video we're watching, and I'll stop it where you get a good view of that sort of open area. There you go. So there's that sort of like open area with the tree line, and there you see it on here, up here. So that's sort of what was there. I don't know how much is left of it anymore, but I don't think very much anyway. So that's what it looks like. It's not really super close to anything. Like if we zoom out, there's a couple of other properties. Oh, it's this. Is it this one or this one? It's sending me over to this plant, but okay, maybe it's this one. Well, there's another tree line, but okay. Exclamation point. If it's this one, then it seems like they may own all of these facilities. Wow, they had a lot of different areas here. They had a live testing range. What I was reading about too. Is that up? Is that this up here? That looks like a testing range. So that's what this looks like. If you've never seen a test range before, you see this like giant embankment here. At least I think that's what that is. It looks like an embankment, and then you have maybe what looks like stoppers, things to stop projectiles or something like that over here. This definitely looks like it is quite far from the facilities down here. So yeah, that could be one of their test ranges. Another area over here. It looks very high security. It's got a giant fence around it and some sort of walkway. But yeah, you come in through here, and then maybe it's this one here. Let's have a look. Let me look at the video again. It looks like it would be a square building that had a ramp. I mean, maybe. Hold on, let's go to the other one. I didn't see that much concrete in the other one, actually. Maybe it's this one here then. Okay. If it is that one, then, you know, there's nothing there anymore. Yeah. Okay. There used to be a giant building, now it's not. So. Miss Woozy said, I'm just reading about it to catch up. Yes. I think it was only the one area, from what I understand. Miss Woozy said, "How devastating for that whole community." They employed a lot of people, from what I understand. They were a pretty big employer, including getting a grant a number of years ago because they had built a new facility and were hiring a lot of people from the local area. So they got a lot of community recognition for it. Contamination area. So I wouldn't think it would be a crazy area of contamination. Groundwater, maybe. Apparently, that if it is that cyclonite does have issues with penetrating soil and groundwater, and can be a problem if it gets into any aquifers in the area. I don't. I mean, I don't know if there's a risk of that, considering a lot of it exploded itself, but the EPA would probably know. Death toll, I don't even know if we have a clear death toll as such. We just know that they haven't really told a lot about that type of thing. They've just said that people have died here. Just multiple dead is sort of the. Let me see if there's a better description. Just the Hickman County Sheriff's Office confirmed that there's multiple fatalities, but don't think they've given a number. Just that there's multiple. Yeah, at this time, 18 people remain unaccounted for. Authorities said one person who was believed to have been at Accurate Energetic Systems when the explosion happened was found safely at home. Investigators are still working to determine how many people were at the facility when the explosion happened. So it doesn't sound like they fully know, and that makes a lot of sense, being that there's just a lot of trying to do a scene like that where there's a lot of people who have been blown apart possibly would be very difficult, very difficult. Wendy, that is very kind of you, my friend. Hey, put your hands up for Wendy if you got a membership from her. That would be cool. Yeah, just missing people. They said unaccounted for. They're not confirmed dead, just unaccounted for. Like I said, I don't think they actually know for sure. Wendy R said, I'll discover this to be worse over time. It'll be discovered to be worse over time. I agree. Sean said 3 dead in plane crash at Shell Harbour, 2 dead crushed by tree in Tasmania. It's all happening. There was in Tasmania a couple of weeks ago, there was a hiker who died. They died while going up on Tabletop Mountain in Tasmania. I think that's what it's called. And they were not prepared for the conditions, and they froze to death on the mountain. So Tasmania's had a bad run recently. Yeah, let me double check this. I want to see if we have any better statistics for you. Yeah, so they just said that it's just more than one person. That's all I can really say. And when describing the area, they say there's nothing to describe. Everything's gone. And the sheriff said it's the most devastating scene that he had seen in his career. They said 4 or 5 people were taken to hospital for treatment after the blast, and they seem to be okay. Most of them have been released from hospital now. So, what is going on in Tennessee today? In my side panel here, do you know what I see? Suspect returned to Nashville for murder of man found dead in motel bathtub. Then, in my other panel here, it says skeletal remains found in plastic bag behind Nashville strip mall. And we have this giant explosion. What is going on in Nashville, Tennessee today? Yesterday it was Texas. Today it's Nashville. Nashville and Tennessee as a whole. It seems to be that it is Tennessee's turn to have a bad day. Let me see. Stop playing videos. It always likes to play those auto videos. All right, let me see. There's a small update that I wanted to play. Yep, this one. About the chemicals. That's what I wanted to talk to you about here. If it'll play.
We are learning more about the type of chemicals made and used at the plant and the risks that they pose. Investigative reporter Stacey Cameron has been digging through federal records for those answers. So what have you found so far, Stacey?
Well, Amanda, that AES plant manufactures a number of high explosives and chemicals for both military and private commercial use. That includes explosives commonly known as TNT and C4. But there's 2 chemicals we've discovered through federal records that are extremely volatile in the event of an explosion or fire. One is called tritonol. That's a mixture of TNT and aluminum powder. And according to safety data sheet from the EPA, that AES plant had tritonol there back as far as 2015 and had been manufacturing it at that plant. The EPA warns against using water to fight a fire involving tritonol because when that aluminum powder mixes with water, it can create a highly explosive hydrogen gas. Now, another chemical we've identified at that plant is cyclonite. We found that in an OSHA report dating back to 2019, and in a fire, there's a high risk of cyclonite exploding, and the EPA cautions against trying to fight any fire involving either of those chemicals.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. They said that the cyclonite has a big problem if there's any like fire around, and it can cause more explosions. So maybe that's what happened. Maybe they had a fire and it ignited some of the chemicals in the plant. That, like, I mean, that's possible. We'll find out at some point what they think occurred. I'm guessing that something went terribly wrong. I mean, there's no other way you can frame it, really. But we should get those updated satellite photos at some point. Here, I just want to show you what's around this area. So not a lot, right? It's pretty pretty remote, which is good for people who are testing explosives. Now, one of the people who heard the explosion, I think, were down here in Bucksnort, and you can see the distance. It's pretty. I mean, it's some way away. The fact that you could hear this down here in your home, you can imagine how big of a blast that was. And you have quite a lot of tree cover, so things that absorb sound, a lot of trees and a lot of wood, which absorbs a lot of sound traveling. So the fact that it was so loud for everyone 20 miles away, 45 miles, I heard earlier today too. So they can pick it up on things like a door camera. I mean, it just tells you how big that explosion might have been. Yeah. So there we go. That if it is this one, which is where the label is, I mean, gone, not there anymore. Betsy said, I can't even imagine the trauma of having to clear a devastation like that. Bless those men and women. Yeah, definitely think of the first responders who had to go out there and try and figure out what was going on in, like you see it, this. It looks like a war zone, literally. And you get told there's around, because the first number they would have been told was there's probably around 20 people on site and we can't find them. You have to walk into this field of debris and try and assess what is going on. I think that is a job. I don't think any of us envy those people today having to go here and do that. It just, you can't even identify anything. Anyone in the chat, can you identify any piece of anything in this photo right here? Can you tell me any item that you might find in a factory? I don't think anyone's got video of it. I don't think anyone's got unless I don't think I've seen video of the actual explosion. Being that it's so remote, I would expect that there isn't any video of it. Let me see if I find anything. I don't think I've seen a photo. I've seen some smoke and stuff like that. I don't think I've seen the actual like kaboom. Let me see. Yeah, just that Ring doorbell, I think. WFAA. All right, hold on. Let me check out this one. There was this one. Yeah, I think that this is just raw camera chopper footage. And you can see the area. I don't think anyone has any video. There's the car park that we saw on the map. There's that car. You see what it did to the cars. Look at that. There's a car, a truck, extremely on fire. There's that open shot we saw before. Let's see if it pans around. Yeah, just everything's smoldering. If that's where that rectangle shaped factory was, there's nothing there anymore. So that would be the shape of it. Hold on, let me check my map. What does it look like? Like, okay. Okay, yeah, it must be this one. Okay, it is that one. So it'd be that way. Yep. It's be on that side. Yep, okay. That's it. Yeah, so it is the one. It's the one where that little exclamation point on the other photo was showing us. I was just trying to make sure it was. This is that Ring doorbell that everyone's seen, where you see the boom. But I don't think anyone's actually got a thing of the explosion itself. Yeah, let's see.
There's been a deadly.
I can't play this, but I want to see if they have any different video that we haven't seen. Oh, is this someone's thing? Hold on.
The explosion.
You're just hearing it. There's that. Oh, actually, what's that?
1,300-acre facility because of multiple secondary explosions.
Look at that. That looks like somebody caught what they said was a secondary explosion. Another cloud went up. It could be a chemical that's lying around or something like that. But there you go. Kathy said, I wonder if there are laws on how far away homes they had to be. I mean, they're pretty far away. Let me see if I can find the nearest home. Is that a home? There's one not too far away. Yeah, I'll show you. Actually, it's not too far away from their testing range. So if this is their... Is that a golf course? No, I don't think so. If that is their... If this is their bomb range, which that's what it looks like. It looks like a bomb range. If that is what it is, there is a house or something just here. There is someone's home just up here. That looks like rural farm something. There's someone's property all the way up here. This might be their closest neighbor. Yeah. Bucksnort Ranch. So that might be their closest neighbor to the site. So they're not super far away. They're far away from this part. They're not far away from the testing range. So there we go. Yeah, I don't think anyone has any good photo of the here, let me check this one. I mean, I've not seen it, and you'd think if there was one, it would be all over everyone's media. Yeah, I don't see anything. Yeah. No thing of the explosion. How far away is that? I would say if that's 1,000 feet, let's go out 2,000 feet. 1 mile is like that. It looks like it's about a mile away. 1.5 miles by the crow flies. Maybe one, maybe two. Maybe 2 miles from the site of the explosion, 1.5 miles from the entrance to the facility, which is a little further north. That's what I would say. 2 miles from the actual explosion, 1.5 miles from the entrance to the facility. So maybe you have to be like 1.5 miles or more from it. Yeah, that is Google Earth. Here, I can go in a little bit for you. So that's the entrance to the facility right here. And this is 10-yard branch road. If we go north up this road, I have to zoom out a little bit, sorry, for people who are on a mobile. If we go up here, just keep going up the road about 1.5 miles up here. You go up here, up the road. There we get to this ranch here. And if you go a little further, you'll get to the actual homestead right there. Then that's about 1.5 miles up the road. So I'm guessing that's probably their closest neighbor for you. So Chipmunk said, I like the way the hills look. They're bumpy. I'm glad that's what you took away from our discussion today, that the hills are bumpy. They are a little bumpy. There you go. You can see the region. If you want me to zoom out and show you exactly where it is in Tennessee, there's Nashville. So it is southwest of Nashville, Tennessee. So there's Nashville. It is south and it is west of Nashville. So it's out here near Hurricane Mills. Near Hurricane Mills, if you know that area. That is how far away from Nashville it is. Chipmunk says, never fun living near a gun range or bomb range. Yeah, I don't know if they've had many complaints, but I would say that, actually, a person earlier today said they do hear them when they're testing out explosives. They said the one today sounded multiple times bigger than anything they normally test at that range. Hold on. Sorry about that. I had to cough. Let's see. I want to see if we can watch the press update very briefly. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here. I'll show you what the sheriff had to say here.
7:45 this morning, we had a very devastating blast at Accurate Arms. Very devastating blast. It encompassed one whole building that was on the facilities. We do have several people at this time that's unaccounted for. We are trying to be mindful of families and that situation. We do have some folks, we can confirm that we do have some that are deceased, but we're going to go back and, like I say, talk to these families, notify these families, and let these families know what's going on.
Yeah, as you heard from him, they're not using any definitives in, sort of how many they think. I just think they're trying to be sensitive to the families of the workers, and I think until they know for sure who is not going home and who has died, and been able to tell families and figure it out, they're probably not going to be very specific. They don't seem like they want to give out very many. Just that those people, 18 people, remain unaccounted for. They haven't said they're dead, just that they're unaccounted for. So that's what they're basically telling us. All right, I want to talk about the I want to talk about the OSHA violations, and then I want to check out that other story. They're saying here 11 years ago, a man was killed and 4 were injured at the facility after an explosion. They say that incident happened in the ammunition area and it sparked a fire at the plant and outside the building. Tennessee Occupational Safety and Health Administration documents also show the facility was accused of code violations after multiple employees experienced seizures following shifts at its so-called hot house. The TOSHA inspection found that employees were exposed to hazardous chemical cyclonite, which could result in central nervous system impairment. And yeah, they said that 2 of them had a seizure on site. 1 of them had a seizure when they went home. And they said this was after doing shifts in the hothouse. And a hothouse is normally where there's active explosives. So that is what they would call their hothouse. They say while performing this work, employees had the potential to be exposed to cyclonite through inhalation, ingestion, and absorption through skin. 3 employees had seizures a day after working in the hothouse. 2 happened on the premise, and a third happened at the employee's home. And they say copies of the violations say that the facility had not ensured that the hazardous chemical cyclonite had been kept off break room surfaces, including a table and a microwave. They say wipe samples taken during the inspection, they said they wiped things down in the break room and it came back positive for cyclonite. So they were just wandering it around and dropping this powerful explosive everywhere. And it was absorbing through these poor people's skin and through food that they were preparing. They say here they also failed to warn employees of the dangers of cyclonite, provide them adequate protective equipment, or train them on how to avoid exposure to hazardous chemicals. And they say TOSHA pushed for a $7,200 fine for the alleged infractions. And they say here the complaints were ultimately resolved with a 2023 settlement in which AES agreed to implement several safety improvements and TOSHA reduced the violations. Interesting. So less than 2 years ago, they came to an agreement on how AES could do better. And then 18 months after that, kaboom. And they didn't just potentially injure people, they killed 18 people 18 of their workers. So this was a company with a very spotty background, very spotty. That is pretty bad, right? They just got done with a OSHA investigation, which they settled, and doesn't seem like they took the lessons from that investigation very seriously, because look, we've got an even worse problem now of one of their plants basically evaporating. Pretty awful. All right. I want to talk about this one in Nashville, if I can bring it up, because I don't know this one. James G. William. Oh no, Omid Y. Esmail, who's accused of the murder of James G. Williams. Okay. Is that this one? All right. I want to see what else we can find about this, because I don't know this one out of Nashville. Apparently, the guy was found in a motel bathtub. Here, let me take you to WKRN News 2 out of Nashville. If I can make that happen. Okay, that's not gonna. Yeah. Found dead man. All right. Nope, that's not it. Sorry, guys. I was trying to find something better than this. Hold on. Okay. All right, fine. I'll take you to WSMV4 in Nashville.
A Nashville motel homicide suspect was found in New York. U.S. Marshals arrested Omid Yahya Esmail. He's accused of killing Joseph Williams, whose body was found in a motel bathtub back in March. Authorities tell us Williams and Esmail were staying in the motel room on Clare Ridge Drive for months. Esmail will be returned to Nashville soon.
Pretty brutal to leave someone in a bathtub and run away to New York. They say William was found dead in a bathtub at the Red Roof Inn on Clare Ridge Drive on March 15 of this year. And what else do they say? Yeah, let's watch this. Metro Nashville PD, they say he was returned to Nashville from New York this afternoon and is being charged with criminal homicide for the March 15 murder of James G. Williams, 65, in a room at the Red Roof Inn. And they said his body was found in a bathtub with his arms bound. Arms bound, eh? Arms bound behind his back. So he was, yeah, he was secured. Apparently, he was arrested in New York City in July. He looks like a very, what's up with the eyelids? Is he reptilian? I want to know if he's a reptile. What is going on with the eyelids? He seems to have translucent eyelids like a lizard. That is interesting. I didn't think they were real. I thought they were things you read about on conspiracy forums, not a real life thing. Well, there's a photo of the suspect right there, as reptilian as he looks. They said at the time of the discovery of Williams' body, officers found him lying on his back in the tub, fully clothed. Police said there was clothing over his face that was removed by first responders, who then saw dried blood on the victim's face. They say Esmail and Williams were staying together in the hotel at the time of the murder. He was arrested by U.S. Marshals in July over that alleged offense. Yeah, don't touch your eyes, otherwise you might end up reptilian like this guy. What a creepy story. I can't say we came across that one at the time in July. And then there's this one that I wanted to look at. Where is it? We had a third one about someone being found behind a strip mall. Yeah. Nope, that's not it. Here. Skeletal remains found behind a strip mall in Nashville. Let's have a look.
Metro Police are investigating after a person's remains were found in a garbage bag behind a Nashville strip mall. The skeletal remains were located in a wooded area along Murfreesboro Pike. Police made that discovery following a tip. We're told the remains were taken to the medical examiner's office.
So here, this is what it says. It says an investigation is underway after skeletal remains were found in a wooded area behind a strip mall off the 800 block of Murfreesboro Pike. According to the Metro Nashville PD, cold case detectives are on the scene. Cold case detectives, not homicide detectives, cold case detectives. Police said a community policing officer found the remains. A community policing officer, what is that? And they said they found the remains in a large plastic bag after receiving a tip. Is this something that they already knew about and they went to the area based on a cold case they were investigating? That's sort of what it sounds like. Yeah, what else can we find about this? I want to know what case it is. Yeah, they had a thing on Nashville government website too, a media release. So they found it here. Isn't that very sad that someone, oh, that's a terrible way of looking at that photo. There we go. Someone was found here in a bag after, and you got to imagine if they're skeletal, there's a plastic bag there. I don't know if they were found in that one or a different one, or they're already been removed from this photo. But imagine this is your final resting place, that someone has put you here to decompose to skeleton. They must have been here for a while. It tells me that no one had been looking in this area or taking care of it. I mean, that's strange. Like, do people not come here and garden it, or I don't know, does the strip mall not do any maintenance or something? The fact that a whole body, at some point this was someone, a person, not bones, and they were decomposing here. Did no one see it? Was there no flies? Were there no smell? Interesting that they could be there for so long and no one pick up on it. Sean, I appreciate it. I don't know why you're there we go. Sean, yes, hit the like button, Sean says. Yes, please do that. Let me close some tabs. We have far too many tabs open. Hold on, guys. We have far too many tabs open. Let me close a few so we can keep going. There we go. That'll help. Let's get rid of that one. All right. What an awful place for someone to end up. Look at this, with all the trash and empty beer bottles and things like that. There we go. A random sports bag and a plastic bag and beer bottles. What a lovely place to put someone in their final time on this earth. I know they got a tip about it, but why the cold case detectives and who is it related to? That's what I want to know. 800 block in Murfreesboro Pike. Where is this? Murfreesboro Pike. Okay. No, we want to go not this way. Oh, I see. Is this where they found it? Here? Is that like a homelessness encampment right here? Did they find it in this thing? Or like through here on the back of this thing? It sort of looks like it could be in the back of here, possibly. This is the right avenue for it. Oh, there's an even bigger section here. Well, I see why if they were in here that no one had been out here. And there's a strip mall type thing here. What's on the other side? I mean, yeah, like you could imagine if someone it makes me wonder, did someone throw it from a car? Because being so close to the pike, did someone just drive through here and literally stop in the middle of the night and just throw it over the edge of the motorway and just dump it down here? Very possible. I mean, no one would ever notice. I get why now. Like I said before, was no one taking care of it or whatever, but look at the area. There's like a trash bin here that looks like it's been there since 1973. And this thing here doesn't look like it's ever been taken care of or looked at. So being that it's so close to the road, I'd wonder if someone literally stopped the car, just pushed them out and like threw it over into this vegetative area and left them there. That would be a pretty good theory, I reckon. Because when you go up here, it looks very different, right? Look, it's not quite the same. And it's weird. There's a homelessness encampment right here. What an interesting place to camp. Right in the middle of a roundabout. Let me go up here. No, I think it's definitely down here somewhere. Yeah, let's look at that photo again. Looks like a walkway. Yeah, definitely looks like it could be through like one of here or something, or even on this particular side down here. Because they said it was next to the strip mall. So maybe through, yeah, that looks very similar. So you see there's like a worn path through here. In that photo, you can see there is like a worn path through the thicket. See how like you would see how there's all like there's like a walkway here. This is about the only one I've been able to pick up on. Right here. There's like a walkway through here too. So, hey, I hope they know who it is. I hope they have a fairly good idea. If they're sending out the cold case team, it sounds like maybe they have an idea of what case these human remains might be part of. Interesting that they got a tip about it. Did someone find it? Are they involved in the crime? All questions Ping would like answers to. I'm just trying to see if we have any other information about it. Behind a strip mall. 818. 818. 818. Okay. 818 Murfreesboro Pike. Is that the one we were talking about? Okay. 818. Oh, it's even worse than I thought. It is in that thicket, but it's in a different one. Okay. Horrible. Here, I'll show it to you. I'll put it up on the screen. At least Murfreesboro Pike, 818. Okay. All right. It's saying to me it's here, but it doesn't look right to me. But I mean, what does Ping know? But it says it should be behind here. It says it should be behind these group of stores, but it's very green. And in that photo, it looks very brown, like dead plants and things like that. But this is very, very green. They have a chicken store called BJ Hot Chicken. Good work, BJ. But yeah, apparently behind here, how awful if this is your final resting place. It's pretty awful. And they have a Super 8 that is rated 2 stars. 2 stars. Would you stay here? People in my chat, would you stay at this Super 8 at Wyndham, Nashville? It is 2 stars. It looks like it has an abandoned, burnt out vehicle that's over here. Some random vehicle. A very creepy car park that you would think that you might die in. That you could be abducted from. You could be abducted from this car park. And there's random trash that has been dumped outside of this fine, very fine, motel. You let me know, would you stay at the Super 8 at Wyndham near Nashville? I don't know if I want to stay there. You might end up in the bushes with this other victim. I can't. This is the most I can zoom in, unfortunately. It won't let me go any further. We can't go. This is like the most we can go in. So yeah, you let me know. Would you stay there? Should we go there when Ping goes to America? Should I do like a haunted, what do they call it? Like ghost adventures, and we can call it homicide adventures live at the Super 8 in Wyndham near Nashville. Chipmunk says, does it have a vibrating bed? I hope not. Yeah, it's pretty creepy. So anyway, if people, it's giving me this as a location. It's saying 818. 818. Murfreesboro Pike. And it's saying it's this one here. So yeah, this is the closest I can zoom in, unfortunately. But it's saying it should be behind here, which is where they found the remains. Well, look, hey, if you stay at the motel, you've got BJ's Hot Chicken, Carlo's wireless cell phone store. You've got a vape shop. You've got Viva Market. You got all the things you need here to commit a homicide, and you got a Waffle House. I mean, gotta have a Waffle House when you stay at a 2-star motel. I mean, that's what you gotta have. Wow, this place looks even worse. What happened to this particular restaurant? Why is its roof like that? Apparently it's an Irish pub, but its roof looks like it's been hit by a tornado. Crazy. Seems like it is a very, very upmarket area. It's got, free living accommodation in the roundabout as well. It seems like a very upmarket, yuppie type area. Lots of people living their best lives. It's a interesting place. Interesting place. Actually, where's our Nashville people? Gayla, not Gayla. Kathy, tell me about this area. Is it a good area? Kathy lives in Tennessee. Kathy, tell us, is this a area we should visit in Tennessee? Should we head down to this particular area? Is it a place that we should visit? I would like to know. What is this? Consulate General of El Salvador in Nashville. Well, he's there. I mean, it must be a good place. I mean, if the Consulate General of El Salvador is hanging out here, I mean, maybe we have misjudged the area. Maybe we have misjudged it. Consulate General, eh? Jeez. Anyway, very sad. A set of human remains. How they sat there for so long, I don't know. But human remains found in the back of this shop area right here. No, this is not the body in the bathtub. This is some random body that got called into the tip line. Skeletal remains is what they're calling it. They're calling it skeletal remains. They say Metro Nashville PD announced on Friday afternoon that cold case detectives are investigating after skeletal remains were discovered behind a strip mall. They say the MNPD reports that skeletal remains were found Friday in a wooded area behind a strip mall at 818 Murfreesboro Pike. That's it. They say a community policing officer discovered the remains in a large plastic bag after following up on a tip. They say medical examiner's office is conducting an analysis on the remains. So they got a tip. They went out there, found a body in a giant plastic bag, apparently. Kathy said, Murfreesboro is a nice town. Never stay in a Super 8. Well, not in 2 stars, I'm not. But I don't know. Maybe I can get a tip from the Consulate General of El Salvador. Maybe we can hang out and be friends or something. That'd be cool. Maybe he knows what's going on in the area. Let me see. Car can get stolen or worse? Well, they found a body. I'm guessing worse is that. I mean, they found human remains behind BJ's Hot Chicken. How dare they? You know, BJ will never be the same after this. I don't know how he'll continue after they found a body behind his chicken store. He's going to be devastated. Maybe it was a client of his. Maybe it was a customer that came in all the time. BJ will never recover. Gracie said, motels are weird. I love going to Mornington. Used to stay there in a motel to get away from Melbourne a bit. Never saw anything weird, but now not so much. Mornington's not as exclusive as it used to be. It used to be a lot more exclusive. It's not anymore. Let me go here. Let me have a look. Let me see what I've got on my list of updates for today. Oh, that's always fun. Let me see if we can get this one going. Let's see if I can find a video for it so we can watch it. Yeah, here we go. Let's go out to Fox 11 in LA.
Online can come with risks. Police are now warning about a woman using dating apps to trick men and steal from them. Fox 11's Rachel Aragon, she is in Agora Hills with more.
The LA County Sheriff Department says that this suspect is primarily targeting older, wealthier men. They also say, based off the information they've gathered, they believe there are more victims, and they say those victims could also be in other nearby counties.
Somebody meets on a dating website. They build some kind of trust relationship with somebody.
Officials say this woman, 29-year-old Adva Levy, is not looking for love. She's looking for any luxury items she can get her hands on.
They're invited into the home, and then this person ends up burglarizing their home by stealing their, personal belongings. And so that would kind of be the scenario we're looking at.
The LA County Sheriff's Department says Levy is primarily targeting older men on dating apps, posing as a companion before ripping them off. The department says she also goes by the name as Mia Ventura Shoshana and drives around in this black Porsche SUV and white Mercedes-Benz.
She has been in custody in a different jurisdiction at this point, but at this time we don't have any contact with her.
Deputies say she's known for breaking hearts and breaking the law. Levy, according to LA County Sheriff's Department, has been arrested for a similar crime in the past, but was released from custody. The concern now?
Have some information, that it may be other victims as well.
Authorities say there's likely more than 10 victims out there.
We want to make sure that all victims are identified and they come forward and that we can help prosecute this case.
And deputies add that the cars the suspect is known to drive in are not stolen vehicles. They also add anyone who believes they've been targeted by the suspect is urged to call the Sheriff's Department.
Of course there is. And when she is caught by authorities, she's going to say it was a sugar daddy type arrangement and that she was doing nothing wrong. She was just being an independent woman. That's what I'm going to guess. They say here, suspected dating app burglar accused of stealing during a podcast appearance. Okay, that's a good way to break into the podcast scene. Michael Sartain, who hosts Access Vegas Live, said he invited Adva Lavi, who identified herself as Mia Ventura, and several other women to his show earlier this year. He claimed that while being a guest on his show, Lavi slipped into the backstage and took valuables out of other guests' bags. At the 45-minute mark, she gets up and goes to the green room where all the girls had left their purses. She proceeds for probably the next 23 minutes rummaging through all their purses. She gets cash, credit cards, and then comes back to the show. He says that while Lavi committed thefts in the middle of the podcast show, she stayed through the end without any look of remorse. He says she sits there calm as a cucumber talking to us like she didn't just steal everyone's stuff. Wow. They're saying one of the guests who appeared on Sartain's show was Eden Lynn, who said Lavi stole her credit card and $400 in cash. Lynn said she didn't realize until later that night when she tried to order medicine for her sick child. She said, I placed a DoorDash order for medicine, and one of the medicines I had to show ID to the driver. I noticed within a few hours, all my stuff was gone. So, not only ripping off old men, also going on podcasts and stealing from other women. There's a few of the vehicles that she's allegedly driven. What else are they saying here? They're saying earlier this week, investigators with the LA County Sheriff's Department issued a special bulletin to seek additional victims of ADVA, accusing the 29-year-old of using dating apps to meet at least 10 elderly men before burglarizing their homes. The 29-year-old woman would meet older men on dating sites or apps to build trust before burglarizing their homes. They say her whereabouts are unknown as of Thursday as investigators look for additional victims. She's described as 5'7", 5'7" 104 pounds with brown hair, brown eyes. And they're saying if you have any information, you should contact the LAPD. So there you go. If you've seen these vehicles, a Porsche, a Mercedes, and I don't know what the other one is. Maybe that's the same Porsche, maybe a different one, but definitely a Mercedes and a Porsche. Very expensive cars too. Yeah, she got away. Sean said if it's too good to be true, that's right. Um, I mean, you have to have some pretty big balls to get into a podcast with other people, sneak off, go backstage, and rummage through people's bags and take their credit cards and money. And it's crazy to me. Kim says, stay away from her if you see her. Definitely, definitely. Gracie said, see you all soon. Might catch some early dinner, late lunch. Okay, have fun with that. Have fun with that. Okay. Okay, if you see Adva Lavi or Mia Ventura or Shoshana or Shana, investigators say you should call it in to police. What a awful woman. What a awful woman. Okay. We have another story out of LA if I can find it. Hold on. Oh, well, that's always a great thing. Instead of women we should look out for, here is a man that the ladies should watch out for. I'm going to get his photo up on the screen. Hold on. This guy here, his name is Eddie. Eddie Alfredo Cortez, 22 of Oxnard, is seen in a booking photo from the Ventura County Sheriff's Office. And they're saying the suspect, he's accused of allegedly R-wording a woman who was intoxicated. On September 11, the victim, a 21-year-old woman, reported to authorities that she had been SA'd by Cortez. They're saying following an investigation, detectives learned that Cortez had been communicating with the victim through social media before they decided to meet in person. They're saying he allegedly drove the victim to an area in the 100 block of Island View Drive in Oxnard, where they drank alcoholic beverages that were provided by him. The victim soon began experiencing nausea, dizziness, and loss of motor function. They then say Cortez then essayed the victim, who was incapacitated and unable to consent. Detectives conducted a follow-up investigation and found several pieces of evidence that corroborated the victim's statements and established probable cause that he committed multiple SA violations. They say on September 30, they located him and arrested him for R-word of an intoxicated person and kidnapping with the intent to commit R-word. He is now being held on a $500,000 bond. He is scheduled to be in court on October 13 at Ventura County Superior Court. So we'll find out on Monday what happens to him. Hopefully, no bail for him. Hopefully, no bail. Yeah, let me make the. Why did that do that? There we go. There he is. Eddie apparently hurting women around LA. Eddie, have fun in jail. I hope you don't get out. Let's see. We'll have to see on Monday what happens with his jail or his court appearance. We'll have to see what happens to him. Hold on. Okay. I'm just trying to line up another story. Give me 1 second. Oh, this is interesting. 3 charged after allegedly putting a tracker on Enigma police chief's car. So they put a tracker on the police chief's vehicle. Wow. That's interesting. They're saying the acting mayor, a councilman, and the city clerk, all 3 of them are behind bars after police chief Tony Perkins said he found a tracking device on his patrol vehicle. Perkins said all this came after the 3 allegedly coerced someone into putting a tracker on his city vehicle, which is against the law. The 3 people are Latasha Luke, Ronald Harbin, and acting mayor Doug Webb. They've all been charged. Ronald and Doug have been charged with stalking, eavesdropping, conspiracy to commit a crime, and violating oath of office. Doug Webb is also being charged with criminal solicitation. City clerk Latasha Luke is being charged with conspiracy to commit a crime and criminal solicitation. Okay, why would you want to do that to the city police chief? Let's find out.
Mayor of Enigma, a councilman, and the city clerk are now behind bars after the police chief says he found a tracking device on his patrol car.
Now, WAOB News 10's Mackenzie Petrie joins us live in the studio with more on their charges. Mackenzie?
Carlin Gregg, the chief of police of that same town, says this all comes after the 3 allegedly coerced someone into putting a tracker on his city vehicle, which is against the law. Acting Mayor Doug Webb faces stalking, eavesdropping, conspiracy to commit a crime, criminal solicitation, and violation of oath charges for his alleged role in this crime. Ronald Harbin faces stalking, eavesdropping, conspiracy to commit a crime, and violation of oath of office. Latasha Luke faces conspiracy to commit a crime and criminal solicitation. Chief Tony Perkins says he found this tracker that's currently on your screen while he was washing his patrol car. He says he immediately launched an investigation into this crime on October 1st. On October 8th, he received arrest warrants for the 3.
I will uphold the laws of the state of Georgia, no matter what your last name is, no matter what your title is, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And I'm going to continue to do that for the town of Enigma, no matter what. I have a job to do, and that's to protect the citizens here. They made some really bad decisions, and those decisions they're going to have to live with.
The 3 are currently awaiting a first appearance. According to county officials, that could be this afternoon or in the morning. We will keep you updated.
Is there any chance at all?
Okay. That did not make it all that much clearer. I don't know why I don't know why you would do that. Why do they want to track him? Was he doing something, you know? So apparently, as of Friday afternoon, all three were in the Berrien County Jail without bond, so they're not out on the town right now. I'm trying to find out why they would do it. Maybe they were investigating him for something? I don't know. There's not a lot of information on it, unfortunately. I'm trying to find something else about it. There's such little, yeah, like no information. Police Chief Tony Perkins. All right. Yeah, apparently, according to the Lanier County News, they're saying that those people were jailed on spying charges. I'm trying to find here. Okay, they say Berrien deputies say they busted a sophisticated spying scheme that included video and voice surveillance of the police chief, the fire chief, and possibly other Enigma citizens. They say clandestine actions have landed Enigma's acting mayor and the other two in jail without bond. So they're saying here it wasn't just the police chief. That's strange. I'm just trying to find out what it is here. They're saying here they had a deer cam pointing towards the road to my house. While in my office, Tasha told me I had spoken of the assault with her. I told her to pull the tape, but it never happened. She said that you can't see my house, but you can see the entrance to my driveway, said Willis. I'm sure they heard me getting on to Tasha about what she was allowing. What are they talking about? Hold on. Oh. One victim of the unlawful surveillance was former Enigma City Clerk Georgia Willis, an advocate for more public access to the town's Lone Park and community clubhouse. She said in an interview Friday that Webb and Harbin, who made up a majority of the three-member city council, initiated a campaign of intimidation against other city officials and certain residents in disfavor with them. And they're talking about how they had a deer cam pointed at her house, Georgia Willis. Yeah, it seems like it's got something to do with city council elections, apparently. It's got something to do with, like, because they're such a small town and they only have a very small, city council. These three, if you're not on their side, they seem to take it out on you. So here's some of their charges. Wow, that is a terrible screenshot or photo, whoever took that. Yeah, so it seems like they just initiated this campaign of harassment for like no reason. Uh, yeah, here during the interview, former city clerk Willis shared that she experienced the job loss, the assault, the always showing up when I'm in town at store. My car mysteriously quits. I think it was sugar in my gas tank. The language and racist remarks made towards my kids. They're trying to have me put stuff in my name. They were all kinds of things. I remember I was told I had too much integrity. That's one of the best comments I ever had. Weird. So it seems like the three that were arrested were just a power unto themselves in the city, and if you went against them or tried to stop them doing what they were trying to do, they would basically initiate a campaign of harassment against you, including by videotaping you, recording you, putting trackers on your cars, saying things to you. Creepy, very creepy. It doesn't make that small town vibe go away. You know, that whole thing about small towns in America and how they're all corrupt and it doesn't make that go away, does it? But hey, those 3 are now in jail, and we'll find out. We'll find out what happens to them. Right now, they're being held without bail, so they can enjoy a couple of nights in jail for their actions. Crazy people, crazy people. All right. Hey, by the way, I know a lot of people are probably waiting to do some American food taste tests with me and Mrs. Ping. We have ordered the things that we want to try. Unfortunately, the store that is the only one that sells it in our area, they don't have any stock. I don't know why, but apparently right now they have no stock of just about anything. And apparently they won't have more stock until Monday. So we did order some things, and we will probably do it on Monday, which is Sunday night for you guys, because we have to go pick it up. And when we're looking on their website, so we wanted to get, what did we want to get? We wanted to try coconut pie, because I've never had one. Mrs. Ping has never had it either. And we wanted to try key lime pie. Both of those they didn't have. There was a couple of others we really liked too. They didn't have them either. And they were out of stock on all of their American candy bars. They were all out of stock, all of them. So very, very annoying. Very, very annoying. So we have to wait for them to somehow get it into stock. And we don't not, they told us by Monday, but we'll see. So Kathy Lynch says, hubby made me a pumpkin mug cake today. We did get a pumpkin pie. One of them that we were able to get was a pumpkin pie, and we will pick it up when they have it. So we were able to get a Mrs. Smith's pumpkin pie. I don't know if that's a good brand in America, but some Googling online tells me that people reckon that the Mrs. Smith one is better than the Marie Callender version. So we were able to get a Mrs. Smith pumpkin pie. Coconut cream pie equal delicious. Well, we couldn't get it. It's out of stock. That one we couldn't get. So we don't know when they will have stock of the coconut cream pie again. Same with the key lime pie. They don't have it, and we're not sure when or if they will have it again, unfortunately. C. Taylor said, need whipped cream for it. Yes, good brand in my opinion. Where do they sell Mrs. Smith? Like, where is that sold in America? Do they sell that at Walmart? Do they sell that at Costco? Do they sell that at some other supermarket? Where is that one? Is it like what? Is it a brand that they only sell at one store, or they sell it at every grocery store? Okay. Well, we read that was a good one, better than Marie Callender. So Jojo said you need whipped cream for pumpkin pie, or it's not as good. Okay, we will get whipped cream. They had Cool Whip too, but they were also out of stock on Cool Whip for some reason. I don't know why. Kathy Lynch said frozen section of any grocery store. Okay, all right. By the way, Mr. DJ, who I haven't had a chance to reply to, he tried to find Mrs. Ping the marshmallow Butterfingers, but he checked and he could not find them. I don't know if this is a epidemic in the United States going on, but he says that they're not in stock in his part of the US. And we checked a couple of places as well, and we can't find them either. And it's strange. They keep advertising them on American cable. So on the American cable TV, they keep advertising it. And DJ's not the first person to tell us that they're not in stock at their local store. So it's very strange. Denny said it's the tariffs. I think they're made in America. Kathy Lynch says French vanilla ice cream would also be good with pumpkin pie. Okay, all right. Wendy Wobble says never heard of marshmallow Butterfingers. Yeah. They're new. Yeah. If you watch American cable TV, there's like an ad that's around for Halloween, and they've been showing it on the ad. Here, it's a Butterfinger with a marshmallow like coating on the outside instead of being chocolate. So they keep showing the ad on American television, and Mrs. Ping keeps saying that she wants to try it. But yeah, there you go. That's what it looks like. Instead of having the chocolate on the outside, it's got white marshmallowy stuff. Has stations? I don't know. You still haven't been to a Costco? Chipmunk said, Ping, did you watch the Grady Judd video? I watch many Grady Judd videos. Depends which one you're talking about. You only watch YouTube? Yeah, I don't know. But apparently it's new for this Halloween, and we've checked with a few people and no one can find them in the US. So, and our place that down here that stocks USA products doesn't have it either. Actually, they didn't have any Butterfingers. We were trying to get one to try on the show because Mrs. Ping has never had them. I've never tried it either. And we were going to get some to try live on the show, and they didn't even have the normal ones. So like the normal Butterfingers, they didn't have it. Kathy says, are tariffs affecting Australia? Well, apparently, because we can't get any USA products at the moment. Yeah, it's really strange. The store that I bought from for the pies, they normally have everything. Like you can get anything and everything. And I normally buy potato hash from that store. So you know those little boxes of potato hash that you pour the hot water into, and then you fry them in the frying pan with eggs and bacon. Well, they don't make them in Australia. So I normally buy them from the USA store, and I eat them because they're nice. But they got no stock of them, and they haven't had them in months. So maybe, uh, maybe something is going on with the tariffs, because I have never ever seen that store be completely out of stock. They have nothing. They don't have any Jolly Ranchers. Um, they don't have any Pop Tarts. They don't have any Hershey's. They don't have anything right now. Like not even like really common things that you can find. Or one of the other things we got was toaster strudels, which I've never had. I've had Pop Tarts before because they sell Pop Tarts in Australia, and they sold Pop Tarts here when I was a child. When I was a child, they sold them in the supermarket in the cereal aisle thing, breakfast aisle. So I've had Pop Tarts all my life, but they don't sell toaster strudels here. That's not a thing. I've never had one. I don't know what it is. It sort of sounds like a more fancy version of a Pop Tart. So we were able to get some raspberry toaster strudels to try. So that'll be one of them. We got some pumpkin pie. We got a Marie Callender salted caramel pie too. So we're going to try that as well. But we're just not able to find the key lime pie or the coconut pie right now. So yeah, unfortunately, when they come back into stock, I'll buy them. But right now, I can't get them. So RFK is trying to save. Yeah, I'm sure he is. Sean said, ungrateful, dead-looking brand advertised Pop Tarts in the 90s. Is that true? Chipmunk says, "Ping, stop! You're making me hungry." So yeah, we'll try a few things. We plan to try some candy bars too. But we have to go to there's a different store that sells only candy bars and chips and things like that for American stuff in a different area. This store that we get the pies from sells like American groceries. So if you an American who moved to Australia and you needed to get some things that remind you of home, this store would have it. Like they literally sell like pancake mix and things to cook dinner with, like spice mix and hamburger helper and stuff like that. So we will check it out. Kathy, thanks. Why are they so expensive? $31.98. They must be hard to get. Kathy just showed me a photo from eBay that says 3-pack of limited edition marshmallow Butterfinger king size version, $31.98. So they're asking just over $10 each. They must be hard to get or something. They must be very they must be rare. People must not be able to there must not be a lot of them around. Mrs. Ping, did you hear that? Kathy found an American eBay ad that says $31 for 3 king-size Butterfinger marshmallow. So that's American too. I know, like $10 a bar. Yeah. I know, it's insane. Here, I don't know if I can show this somehow. Here, let's put it up on the screen. I will show it to you. Is that it? Yeah. There you go. $31.98 for 3 of them. I'm guessing they just don't have stock at the moment. Hard to find. Lindy says, doesn't seem that marshmallow would go with Butterfinger to me. Oh, really? You know, one of my favorite candy bars is Fifth Avenue. I love them, but people in my chat earlier this year told me that Butterfinger are better than Fifth Avenue. People were saying that they're much better than Fifth Avenue. So, Sean says, I can't believe Pop Tarts were from the 1960s. Yeah, they've been around a while. Kathy says, I can't get my regular staple since the tariffs. I spent $20 on a pint of coconut oil. Yikes, but I have to have it to supplement the soups I make. Really? Crazy. The tariffs are making it hard on everyone. Yeah, so there you go. Gayla said, ask them to email you when they are in. Yeah, they've got like a thing when you put your email in, and then when it comes back into stock, it'll send you an email. What they don't like is when you email them and ask them when they will have more stock, because they are often out of stock of things, and they don't like when people badger them about when they're going to have new products. So I think I've shown you the store before. It's called USA Foods in Melbourne. So there's a store called USA Foods, and they stock everything you could dream of. Hold on. USA Foods. So they stock just about everything, I think. I just want to make sure I'm not logged into my personal account, so hold on. Okay, I'm not. Let's just make sure I'm not. Yep. So yeah, there's a store here, USA Foods, and they sell like snacks, candy, drinks, groceries, baking, kosher stuff, Mexican stuff, even stuff like laundry items, barbecue, breakfast things. But they've got like no stock right now. There you go, Twinkies and things like that. They got Reese's mini Halloweens right now. I hope they don't get stock just because I just tried to order. Wow, that is pricey. Reese's mini Halloween, 878 grams, $40. What is that? What are Reese's mini Halloween? Oh, they're like them. Oh, I know. These are great. They're like the little miniatures. They are. Mrs. Ping, do you know what? They just got all their Halloween stuff in. They just updated because this wasn't here when I ordered last night. They got their Reese's miniatures in, like a giant 1 kilo bag for Reese's at USA Foods. Not yet. I don't see them right now. They only restocked a couple of things. Get off the screen. Oh, they have Canada Dry. Ping is quite fond of Canada Dry. So Canada Dry is something like Ping quite likes. I often will get it if I can find it. Wendy said Trader Joe's makes delicious peanut butter cups. We don't have Trader Joe's down here, unfortunately. Must be Bart Simpson. Maybe. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna just check for Mrs. Ping, but I don't think so. Yeah, they're out of stock. They're out of stock. See? See what I mean? Like everything is out of stock. There's nothing in stock right now. So maybe the tariffs are getting to people, unfortunately. So yeah, when we're trying to find stuff for the show, we couldn't find anything. So Rachel said ginger ale ping. Yeah, Canada Dry. It is so good. When I'm in America, like that's all I drink. I drink Canada Dry, and I used to love Minute Maid. Minute Maid used to make these like cans of soft drink, and anytime you were on an aircraft in America, they wouldn't have Coke or Pepsi or whatever. They would always just have Minute Maid on every bloody flight in America, or if you stayed at any hotels in America, they used to have Minute Maid, not Pepsi, not Coke, just Minute Maid. So when I was in the US, I got really used to drinking Minute Maid. So one of the things they had with Minute Maid was that Canada Dry, and I got really addicted to it. That and the Minute Maid ginger ale. They make one in that brand too, but yeah. Yeah, or 7 Up. Yeah, I don't know why they never have Coke or Pepsi, just Minute Maid, which is bizarre because Minute Maid is not really a thing down here. I'd never heard of it before I went to the USA. I was like, I don't know what that is. All right. Yeah, so it looks like probably Monday if we can get if the things we ordered come into stock, we will do the fun taste testing show on Monday. That looks like probably when we will do it. So that sounds like it. Hey Jane, how are you? Jane says, I hope they find the cause very quickly. How sad. She's talking about the fire. Janet, hey Janet, good to see you. You will love toaster strudel. I used to get those for my kids when they were little. Okay. I've never tried one before. Rachel said, oh, you just got a Trader Joe's. We don't have Trader Joe's. We've got Aldi and Aldi. Like, that's all we have. All right. Let's see if we can do one more story for the night. Let me see what else I've got on my list of true crime. Let's see if I've got anything else for you. Okay. Let's go to this one. All right, let's go to Philadelphia. Not often that we do a story out of Philadelphia, but this one is quite interesting, and I think it's worth watching. So let me see if I can. Yeah, let me take you to ABC 6 in Philadelphia. So there's a missing woman called Kada Scott, and the story is a little strange. And let's watch it.
Our loved ones are stepping up their efforts to find Kada Scott today. The 23-year-old went missing over the weekend while working an overnight shift. Police turn to the public for information surrounding her disappearance.
Is that really quiet? Hold on, guys. Let me get one that actually sounds better. That sounded really quiet to me. Let me see if I can find one that's not super quiet. Yeah, 23-year-old woman has been missing for actually quite a large period of time, and it's just a little creepy. It's just a little strange. So let me try and get you an actual one that we can listen to. There we go.
We're on CBS News Philadelphia. A woman leaves work to go on a break and never returns. Now police are combing through her social media and looking into reports she may have been harassed before vanishing without a trace.
Well, let's get right to Chief Investigative Reporter Joe Holden this afternoon. He's live at Northwest Detectives, where police just wrapped a news conference up just a short time ago about this case. Joe.
That's right, Natasha and Siafa. Good afternoon to you. So Philadelphia police detectives are asking the public for any information that may help them locate 23-year-old Kata Scott, the young woman last seen at work on Saturday night around 9:45 at the area nursing home in Chestnut Hill, where she had clocked in for a shift. Now, here's what detectives are telling us. Scott clocks in and then clocks out rather quickly and did not work a full shift. Scott's mother reported her missing the following day, so that is now Sunday. Police say she is very active on social media, and to just disappear is not something she would do or has ever done in the past. And here's why police are particularly concerned. They say someone or a group of people may be harassing her and that her phone has been off or dead since the weekend. Here's Captain.
So pretty young, 23 years old, a nurse. You know, the fact that she was a former beauty queen contestant from Philadelphia vanished after getting harassing phone calls. They say months ago, Kata Scott, 23, was in the running to be the next Miss Pennsylvania, and they say she represented her state in the National Miss USA pageant. Now she's been missing for a number of days. Her family reported her missing on Sunday, with her mother, Kim, telling police she saw Scott leave the family home about 10 miles north of Philadelphia the previous day at 9:45 p.m. She was scheduled to work her usual overnight shift from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., and co-workers reported seeing her leave the building in her black scrubs shortly after she arrived. Detectives said the facility does not have any surveillance cameras, but they found Scott's car still parked outside. They're saying it's currently being analyzed for any possible forensic evidence. Where would she go for that many days? They say here, what's troubling about this case is, number one, you have a 23-year-old young lady who has completely disappeared. They have no cell phone activity or social media activity, and she has not reached out to any family or friends. They say Matthews added that she was aware Scott was getting strange phone calls from an individual or multiple people shortly before she went missing. They said they're trying to piece everything together to find out exactly who these people are. They describe her as 5 feet 6 inches tall, 120 pounds, with thin-built brown eyes and black hair. And her mum says, "It's my oldest daughter. I love her. I'd hope you love all your daughters. The last few days have been crazy, heads spinning, trying to figure out what's going on. Detectives are interviewing her friends and family while trying to find any relevant CCTV video that may have captured Scott in the vicinity of the assisted living facility." According to the facility's management, they provided a statement saying, "We take our associates' safety and well-being very seriously and are fully cooperating with law enforcement efforts to locate Miss Scott. As this is an active investigation, we are unable to share additional details at this time. Our thoughts are with her family, and we remain hopeful for a positive outcome." Okay. Apparently, police are combing through her social media activity by looking through her private messages and posts. They're saying that if you have any information, to contact authorities, because it may be the thing that helps them track down what happened to her and where she is. Apparently, she is a recent Penn State graduate and was in the midst of pursuing her entrepreneurial dreams, and was described by family as creative and very artistic. So smart lady, very smart lady. Where could she be for this long? That's a interesting question. It's a long time to be missing, right? Here, let me look here. Yeah, there's a update here. It was a while ago. Let's see what it says.
Good morning. Just here to let you know, I know there are a lot of questions on what we're doing here today. As you know, and we talked about it a couple of days ago, this weekend on the 4th of October, the police received a missing person report from a family of a female, 23-year-old female. She had gone to work, and that was the last place she was seen around 9:45 on the 4th. We've been investigating that since that time, really trying to do everything we can to figure out where she might have went. Like, her car was found at the location. No one has received a call from her. We know her phone is not in operation anymore. So a lot of what we're doing is following the evidence that we have, witnesses that gave us information. Some of that evidence has led us to this area. We've looked in other areas too. This particular area, the Aubrey Arboretum, all right, it's a very large area. It's all wooded area mostly. There's a lot of fences and activity going on in there. So it wasn't very easy to search with just a few detectives. So we enlisted the help of our academy classes. They're here. They were given specific instructions by our crime scene investigation people, and we're just looking in the area. To this point, nothing has been found that's related to the investigation. We found some clothing items, which we have no idea if they're related to this or not, but they were taken just to look into. But at this point, we're just doing everything we can. We try to do that on missing person investigations. We do everything we can to make sure we run down every lead. This particular case led us to this area. It's a very large area, and we had to do what we had to do. It's not the first time we've done this. I've been in the department over 35 years. I've worked in the Detective Bureau a long time. We've done this in missing persons in the past, where we enlisted the help of the academy.
Frank, how concerned are you about, she's been gone almost a week now, no cell phone, no bank, no any trace, right?
Yeah, 23-year-old who, you know, is a social media person, as we hear. She disappeared off social media, so it's concerning. You know, any young people today, they can't live without having a phone in their hand.
I think the background noise is someone using a whippersnipper. I think it's someone doing, like, you know, those whippersnippers with the grass. I think that's what it is. Yeah, get the phone records. It'll take time to get those records. It really will. Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking. I was like, someone in the background is being a jerk and not understanding that there's a giant press conference happening about 10 feet from you. Someone needs to pay attention to what they're doing and just wait a minute until the press conference is completed. They're saying here that Scott's mother told the authorities that she left home with her car keys, iPad, iPhone, and iWatch. Her phone has been shut off, so cops cannot track her location. They're saying here that Scott told her family about someone harassing her over the phone shortly before she vanished, but they said they're unsure who the caller is or what they want. They're saying Scott's phone and social media has been inactive since her disappearance, and she does not have a history of disappearing, and her co-workers did not notice anything out of the ordinary before she vanished. So a bit of a strange one. Not a lot of clues about what might have happened to her at all. Her name is Kada Scott. She's 23 years old. It's pretty young. Let's see. 4 hours ago, but I think this video is very quiet. Okay, so they're saying their search today in that wooded area did not find anything. That was the update a few hours ago. So they were looking for her in this area where the press conference was taking place, but they didn't find anything, unfortunately. Danny said, "What about her watch?" I don't know. Maybe they could track it. It's possible. It depends. It depends if it's the type that connects to the cell phone to get internet. Some of them connect via Bluetooth, and that's how they get their updates and internet and things like that. So the cell service runs through the phone. Some of them have a SIM card inside of the watch. It depends which type she has. If it's the one that runs from the phone, then it's not going to make a difference because the phone is shut off. But if she has the one that has a SIM card in it, maybe. That is it. I don't have really much else in it for it, unfortunately. Where is it? Kata Scott 23. Hold on, guys. Yeah, no other updates. So what else do we know about her? Yeah, what if we go to this one here? Yeah.
Evidence led them to Albury Arboretum today in their search for 23-year-old Kata Scott. She's been missing since Saturday night when she was working an overnight shift. Authorities are concerned for her well-being. Action News reporter Becca Hendrickson is live now in East Mount Airy with an update on a search that happened there today. Becca.
Sarah, investigators are calling her disappearance worrisome. They say there is evidence that she did not disappear of her own accord. That evidence led them to this area and the arboretum behind me. Hundreds of cadets lined up together, arm in arm, to search every inch of it. You can see how the terrain is different in there. There's walking paths, there's fence, there's gardens, all these different areas for police to search. That took hours. And unfortunately, police say they didn't find much.
So if they definitely believe that she is missing not of her own volition, well, that is very concerning then, isn't it? It sounds like she has been... Why would she leave her workplace, though, if she thought she was under threat? The safest place you could be would be inside of that care facility, because it's probably got some security. It's probably got a hot button to authorities in case something goes wrong. She could have used that to get attention. Kim says taken. Yeah, it sounds like it. Sounds like they know more than what they're giving us. I don't know what to tell you except for it's concerning that they started checking Parkland. That tells me, like, do they believe she's not alive? Because why else would you check Parkland for her? Like, she wouldn't just be standing in the middle of the park. It sounds like they were searching for a body, maybe. Awful. Let me see if I can find anything else about it. Search intensifies. Just want to see if I can find anything else on those phone calls. Just that's all they're saying. Days prior to her disappearance, Miss Scott relayed to family and friends that unknown individuals or persons had been harassing her via phone. We're investigating that. We're trying to learn more. So they don't really seem to know much, well, not publicly anyway, but they don't seem to want to give out more about those phone calls. Yeah, that's it. No comments on the article? Let's see. People are saying that all right, interesting. Let me check something. People are saying that there's something on Facebook. Hold on. Let me see if I can find something on Facebook. Kata Scott. Just trying to see if there's anyone posting about it that has any background information. I'm not seeing very much. Yeah, people are like, get her phone records, then you would know who's been calling her. Definitely. Um, I'm not seeing very many people or any good information anyway. Just a lot of people who don't seem to know anything. So a lot of people posting about her, just saying like, please find Kata Scott, please look for her, that type of thing. But no real like good information of her background, who might have wanted to do this to her, anything like that. There's no real uh, you know, the family did say that she had a large social media presence. Could she be one of these people that had a bit of a following, maybe, and maybe someone got infatuated with her through social media? Maybe. Um, yeah. Danny said, should have been a lot of cameras at the health facility. A comment here I read says that they do have cameras, but they were malfunctioning at the time of her disappearance, which is not surprising. Um, Mrs. Ping had her phone and bag stolen from her workplace. Someone came in while she was at work, broke into the office, and took her bag, phone, and purse. And when she went to ask her work about surveillance cameras, they're like, yeah, we have surveillance cameras, but they haven't been working in like 6 months. And when she asked why they didn't get them fixed, they're like, oh, you know, budget and money and things like that. So there was no video evidence of who stole her handbag and her purse and her mobile phone. That was awful. I remember that day. I'll tell you how quick they get into your account. Within half an hour of them stealing her handbag and her purse, they had got into her bank account and drained her bank account of cash. They took over $1,000 within half an hour at a local supermarket. They bought gift cards and paid for a bunch of other things through tap and pay. So, a reminder to be careful. All right. Let me get out of here for the night. I think everyone's falling asleep. We've been on for about 2 hours. Let's get out of here for the night. I will not be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a family function for someone who is turning many years old, and it's a big round number celebration. So we're going to go out and do that tomorrow afternoon. So I won't be here tomorrow, but I will be here for Sunday night. And hopefully, if we can pick up hopefully if the store gets the ingredients that we've ordered and the items that we've ordered, we can do some American taste testing on Monday, which should be a lot of fun. All right. I love you all. Hey, say thank you to Wendy for giving out those 5 memberships. If you got a membership from Wendy, say thank you to her in the comments. And Sean says hit the like button with a super chat. I appreciate it. If you want to support this channel, use the links in the chat or under the video to send in a donation of your own. I would appreciate it, and it helps allowing us to go to those big trials. So right now we're saving to go to Samantha Murphy's trial, which is only about 6 months away. And if you remember how long it took us to save up for Aaron Patterson's one, this is going to be about 8 to 10 weeks as well, early next year. And it's going to be a long trial. It's going to be, about the same as Aaron's. And unfortunately, we have to head out into the country again, this time to Ballarat. So different side of Victoria, but we're going out into the rural areas for another large trial. So that's what that helps with. I would appreciate it. Have a great Saturday if you're in America. If you're in Australia, enjoy the rest of your Saturday and Sunday. and I will see you on Monday, Sunday if you're in America. Good night, everyone. Bye.